In 2019, Rebel Wilson was known for playing characters that promoted body positivity, like her Pitch Perfect role of Fat Amy. In the movie, Amy says that she asked the girls to call her fat to her face because she knows they'll just call her fat behind her back anyways. Many felt empowered by the film, especially since Amy seemed so comfortable in her own skin, so fans were shocked to learn that Rebel was partaking in a lifestyle journey she was calling her quote, year of health. Then in 2020, Rebel announced on her Instagram that she intended to go through a huge health and lifestyle change that would most likely result in her losing a lot of weight. She ended up losing over 70 pounds in about a year and announced that she hit her goal weight of 165 pounds in November of 2020. Rebel has revealed that she followed something called the Mayer method to lose the weight. This method is all about a lifestyle change and intuitive eating. One of the principles of the diet is to focus on chewing food and eating slowly in order to achieve her drastic weight loss. Rebel said recently that she wished she'd gotten on the weight loss path sooner, when she was in her 30s. Wilson told in style, quote, "Now that I know I can do it, sometimes I feel sad that I didn't do it earlier. Maybe I should have tried when I was 30, not 40. But everybody's journey is different and it's not a race or competition." To get more into her weight loss method, called the Mayer method, the diet is based on eating healthy vegetables, high-protein foods, and being mindful about eating, avoiding added sugars, and stress eating. A large part of the diet is actually encouraging positive lifestyle changes, like incorporating simple exercises and sleeping more. The Mayer method dates back to the 1920s when a doctor in Austria invented it. Wilson actually went to a specific clinic in Austria that teaches the method in 2019. After this meeting, she was excited to give the diet a try. Wilson explained her new approach to her fans in a social media video, telling them how this method helps people put themselves in better situations where they feel in control of their decisions and less distracted while they eat, so they don't make poor choices. The method encourages going for walks or hiking as a way of reducing stress, which is a cornerstone principle. The diet also allows for a glass of wine at dinner, which is a nice treat. The point of the diet change is to go from eating inflammatory foods to anti-inflammatory to change the health of the gut, focusing on tons of vegetables and high-protein foods to do so. The diet avoids inflammatory foods like processed foods, dairy, caffeine, and gluten. After opening up about her stunning transformation, Rebel revealed that back when she was contemplating the weight loss journey, some of the people on her own team were not too happy when she decided she was going to lose weight. She told the BBC, quote, "I got a lot of pushback from my own team actually, here in Hollywood, when I said, okay, I'm going to do this year of health. I feel like I'm really going to physically transform and change my life." This pushback was because she'd become known for her weight in the industry and she was getting roles as the quote, funny fat girl, as she says. Changing her entire branding at that point could have been the end of her career. However, she didn't let their opinions stop her, because she knew she needed that change in her lifestyle to be as healthy as possible. She also knew she needed to address her unhealthy eating habits. Adding, quote, "I knew deep down inside that some of the emotional eating behaviors I was doing were not healthy, like I didn't need a tub of ice cream every night. That was me kind of numbing emotions using food, which wasn't the healthiest thing." Rebels also revealed her change in diet was in part to increase her chances of getting pregnant. She said on Instagram Live back in July, quote, "It first started when I was looking into fertility stuff, and the doctor was like, well, you'd have a much better chance if you were healthier." Rebel says she was initially offended that he brought that up, but after thinking about it, she knew the doctor was right. She continued in the interview, quote, "So that's kind of where it started, that if I lost some excess weight, that it would give me a better chance for freezing eggs and having the eggs be a better quality. It wasn't even really myself, it was more thinking of the future mini-me, really." Now that Rebel has lost the weight up to 77 pounds at this point, she's now focused on maintaining the weight loss and not putting it back on, like she had done in the past. In an interview with Women's Health, Rebel spoke about the permanent lifestyle changes that she's made, saying, quote, "The biggest lesson that I've learned is how to deal with my emotional eating, learning to process my emotions and deal with my emotions better. That's really what's changed my life for the better." Rebel has also shared with fans some candid posts about her journey and some of her low points that really encouraged the change. In August, she posted a throwback photo at her largest weight. In the caption, she spoke about all the bad things that happened around that time in her life, like losing her father to a heart attack. At that time, she was using food to manage her feelings. The caption read in part, quote, "Okay, so I know I normally post flattering photos of myself, but I found this old photo in my emails and was like, whoa." She wrote in the caption, "I remember this was when I was at my most unhealthiest, being overweight and indulging way too much with junk food, using food to numb my emotions." Finishing off the caption that she is so proud of herself and anyone who wants to make this change can do it if they try hard enough. In the Women's Health interview, Rebel spoke about her current daily regimen. In 2020, she was focused on losing the weight, so in 2021, she was only trying to maintain. She said, quote, "There were times last year where I was eating on a very strict diet, and then now it's more about balance." She She said she's incorporated snacks back into her diet, and she indulges in the occasional ice cream and chocolate. To her, this approach feels more maintainable. She's also made an effort to make her past favorite unhealthy foods more healthy, like incorporating more vegetables in meals that didn't always include as many. For example, she loves to add shredded carrots and avocados to her tacos. She's also lessened her fitness routine and added in more moderate workouts that are easier to stick to. She said, quote, "I don't have to do such extreme workouts. It's really about enjoying exercise and physical activity, so I'll just go on a light walk. I'm not killing myself at the gym." Just last week, Rebel continued to share pictures of her new figure, posing on a couch for a New Year's Eve photo. She wrote in a stunning Instagram post, quote, "Starting off the new year strong. Happy New Year to you legends, love from down under." She celebrated in her native Australia, sharing moments from the night on her Instagram, like fireworks and drinks with her friends. While talking to People, she also opened up about her current dating life. She confirmed that she's single after a split with her ex-boyfriend, Jacob Bush. And she says she isn't looking to date at the moment. She spoke about her single summer, saying, quote, "I was doing the hot girl summer thing. I heard about it in rap songs and I was like, this sounds fun. But it really wasn't me. I'm more of a conservative girl normally." Although she confirmed she dated some people over the summer and had a nice time, nothing serious came out of it. Following the breakup, Wilson confirmed she hopped on a dating app to see who was out there, but she deleted it after she got way too much attention. I mean, being a celebrity on a dating app is definitely not easy. She also spoke about her weight loss and turning 40, saying, quote, "Last year I for the first time ever prioritized my health. And even though that was my 40th year, I was just like, it's never too late to improve yourself or to improve your health. I shouldn't feel sad or beat up on myself because of that. I should just feel proud of myself for actually doing it." As of now, Rebel looks phenomenal as an inspiration to women everywhere who are looking to make a lifestyle change. After researching a bit about her diet, I'm definitely going to start eating my meals slower and enjoy them. That was one of the principles of the diet. Let me know below if you have any 2022 health and fitness goals below. We can all encourage each other in the comments.
Some celebrity plastic surgeries are subtle, and others are pretty well known, like Dolly Parton's for example. She's just as well known for her looks as she is for her music, but how did she get to this point with her appearance? Well, I'm here to give you the rundown on all of that today as we talk about how Dolly Parton drastically changed her looks. Let's start off with who is Dolly Parton. Now before we get into the details about Dolly Parton's plastic surgery journey and how she's altered her appearance over the course of her career, let's first dive into who Dolly really is, her career, and why people love her so much. Dolly Parton has one of the greatest success stories out there. Coming from nothing, she was able to rise to fame and build herself an empire that has brought her so many opportunities and huge career moments. Dolly is completely self-made. A lot of the time, many singers have connections to the music industry, and that's how they're able to find success, but not Dolly. Dolly grew up pretty poor with 11 siblings living in a one-room cabin. She just had a dream of being a singer when she began performing in church with her family. Soon her dream got her to perform on local radio and TV stations, but her talent proved to be something pretty darn special. Though for a while she stuck to having small gigs just to get her voice out there as much as she could, she one day got an invitation to perform at the Grand Ole Opry, where she met Johnny Cash, who believed in her and her talent and encouraged Dolly to keep performing. She stuck to it, and after she graduated from high school, she moved to Nashville and started writing songs for other artists. Though she found a lot of success with her writing, she just couldn't shake the call of the stage and the shining lights. In 1967, she decided to take that leap of faith with her music career and released her first album titled Hello, I'm Dolly. She garnered a pretty big following right away, and the rest is history. She's released so much music since her first album, with her sound ranging from country to country pop, bluegrass, and even gospel. Other than having a booming music career, she also became quite the businesswoman, using her fame as a singer to open her own establishments. One establishment that we all no doubt are familiar with is the Dollywood theme park, but she has so many other businesses that include the Dollywood Splash Country, Dreammore Resort and Spa, Stampede, Pirates Voyage, Smoky Mountain Opera, Hatfield and McCoy Dinner Feud, Comedy Barn, Frizzle, and the Chicken Farmhouse Cafe. Even more impressive is her humanitarian work. Dolly has been known to work with many organizations and charities supporting a number of causes. She's worked on providing free books to children to encourage a love of reading, she's raised and donated money for various relief causes, and she even provided funding for the Moderna COVID vaccine. Other than spending money on helping others, others though, she's also used her hard-earned wealth to work on herself and alter her appearance, so let's get into that. But before we get into the nitty-gritty about Dolly Parton and her signature looks, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. Now let's get into the plastic surgery journey. Now that we know who Dolly really is, let's get to talking about her appearance and her journey with plastic surgery. Over the years, Dolly Parton has been very open about her plastic surgery. She isn't afraid to reveal the work that she's had done and seems to be pretty open about all questions about her appearance, making her one of the most honest celebrities out there, at least when it comes to her procedures. She's admitted to having had many procedures done over the course of her life. Some of the operations that she's talked about having include breast augmentation, a brow lift, eyelid surgery, rhinoplasty, a chin augmentation, and face augmentation. Her surgeon has admitted though that Dolly has never had a full facelift before, which can explain why she still looks so good even after having had all those surgeries, because let's admit, sometimes when celebrities get facelifts, they can come out looking a little scary or nothing like themselves. Luckily for Dolly, she's retained pretty much all of her natural features, but she's really just aged a bit. According to her surgeon, Dolly started getting work done in her 40s when she first started noticing signs of aging. The surgeon told the publication Closer Weekly, quote, "I think she started when she was in her mid to late 40s. That's the time that the first signs of aging like volume loss start to become evident. She probably uses moisturizers and recovery creams, undergoes microneedling, and non-ablative and ablative lasers." End quote. As to what the surgeon has said about Dolly's appearance despite having had so many procedures done, he told the publication, quote, "I truly believe her looks are the combination of both. I do believe that it is a healthy and harmonious lifestyle with her personal wisdom and depraved of exaggerations that preserved her beauty through the years. I do believe that includes wisdom of choosing the right, skillful, and honest plastic surgeon for her face." End quote. Dolly has said that she isn't afraid to go under the knife to achieve her desired look, but with that mindset, that must also cost her a pretty penny, so let's get into that part of her cosmetic transformation. Now let's get into the cost. With all of the work that Dolly has done over the course of her career, you would imagine that it would have cost her quite a lot of money to have all that work done. Well, it is a surprising cost, so let's talk about it. Dolly isn't at all shy about talking about money, at least when it comes to what she's donated to the various organizations that she supports, as well as what she's spent on her appearance. I can see why she would be open to discussing that, since she's entirely self-made and is proud of how far she's come and the fact that she can do these things for herself. One of the most expensive procedures that Dolly has paid for has of course been the ones for her breasts. We all know that Dolly is kind of known for her chest, but how she got to this point with them is kind of wild. In an interview with Q magazine, Dolly once revealed that she paid $1 million to have her breasts done. She revealed that she's really happy and proud of the way they looked, and even said, quote, "I've slapped a few people who didn't stare at them. This kind of money, they'd better be looking at them." End quote. In another interview, she's talked about how expensive it is to create the look that she has and to maintain it, saying, quote, "It costs a lot of money to look this cheap. If I see something sagging, bagging, or dragging, I'm gonna have it nipped, tucked, or sucked." End quote. But if you thought $1 million was a lot to spend on her looks, then wait until you hear about her plastic surgery splurge as her gift to herself for her 75th birthday. According to sources, Dolly wanted to get a bunch of work done, from the quote, "top of her head to her toes." End quote. The singer was also not sparing any expenses to achieve the outcome that she wanted. Apparently, Dolly had set aside a budget of $2 million for her procedures to make sure that she was getting exactly what she wanted and that it was going to be well done. The source close to Dolly revealed that, quote, "Dolly won't be sparing any expense with the surgery. She'll get the best of the best because, let's face it, she has the money. She set aside a budget of $2 million, which is probably more than she'll need, but it'll be a guarantee that anything she gets done will be taken care of for the rest of her life." End quote. Now let's move on to her feelings about all of her procedures. Now you must be thinking to yourself, well, with all of that work done and the amount of time and money spent on her appearance, how does she feel about it all? Well, let's talk about that. Dolly has always had an over-the-top style, and she's even revealed how she believes that she's created her own unique style through her procedures and other factors like her hair and makeup. She's always been one to stand out, and so Dolly has said that she likes getting work done to maintain that sense of uniqueness. She's 100% Dolly through and through. Apparently, over the course of her career, she's been told to dial back her look a little bit, but that's not how Dolly works, you know? In response to those requests, she's spoken out about that, telling sources, quote, "I not only didn't tone it down, I figured figured if my work was truly good enough, people would eventually recognize that. It was about me knowing who I was, being happy with me, and feeling comfortable in the way I presented myself. If I was happy, I could make other people happy. That's how I've always looked at it. I look totally artificial, but I'm totally real. As a writer, as a professional, as a human being. A rhinestone shines just as good as a diamond." End quote. She's happy with the way that she looks, and that's what truly matters in the end. And now let's talk about her plans for the future. Now, with Dolly getting older and being in a different part of her life now compared to when she was younger, the question remains, is she still going to keep getting work done? Well, let's get into what Dolly has said about that. We all know that there is no stopping Dolly Parton. She does what she wants when she wants to, and she's a very busy woman. She said that she plans on doing what she's always been doing until she can't go anymore, saying, quote, "I don't think about my life in terms of numbers. First of all, I ain't never gonna be old. I ain't got time to be old. I can't stop long enough to grow old. I bet you I won't look much different when I'm 95 if I live that long because I'm like the Gabber sisters." End quote. I have to say, I love Dolly's energy and way of looking at life so unapologetically. She's definitely a good role model to look up to if you want to follow in her way of working hard, achieving your goals, and being 100% authentic. I think the takeaway from all this is that it doesn't matter what you look like as long as you're happy with yourself and where you are in life. That's what matters. And sometimes you just have to work hard to achieve that happiness.
And at number 10, Courtney Love. Courtney Love is admitted to having 3 major procedures to change herself over the years, but unfortunately she hasn't been happy with them. The first procedure was liposuction on her butt, but she said that it ended up ruining her figure, and she discouraged anyone from getting it done. She also had a mouth enhancement, not really sure what that means, but she wasn't happy with it either. She said after that procedure, quote, "I just want the mouth God gave me back. It was perfectly cute and I had nice big lips." The last procedure she's admitted to was a nose job, although after the original procedure, she ended up getting it corrected because she did not like it, even calling it a quote, "little beak" at one point. All this aside, I think Courtney looks really beautiful now, although it's clear she looks vastly different than her natural self. And at number 9, Kylie Jenner. Everybody knows that Kylie Jenner looks like a completely different person after all of her plastic surgery, and she's owned up to a very little bit of what she's had done. The one procedure that she speaks often about is her lip fillers. She says that growing up her small lips were a big insecurity of hers, and she got lip fillers as a teenager when a boy told her that her lips were not kissable. This whole lip craze spawned her now billion-dollar business, as she was constantly looking for lip liner to overline her lips with. Along with the lip fillers, it's speculated that Kylie got a Brazilian butt lift, cheek fillers, chin implant, and an eyebrow raise. And even though she looks like a whole other person compared to her teenage self, she denies any other procedures. But it seems that Kylie slightly regrets the lip filler, and she admitted that they were way too big at one point. And at number 8, Denise Richards. Fans have been questioning for years if Denise Richards has had any facial modifications, but she's consistently denied changing her face with any procedures, including botox or fillers. However, she's open about her breast implants and the long and horrible process to get them where they are now. She first got implants at 19 and had to get it fixed twice before they were what she wanted. Apparently, the first 2 surgeons made her breasts larger than she wanted, and she didn't have the time or energy to fix it when it happened. Denise also revealed that she had the second procedure before filming Wild Things and didn't want to get in a lawsuit with a plastic surgeon before filming that. She now calls the decision a large investment, but she's happy with how they look now. And at number 7, Bella Hadid. Bella Hadid was recently voted the most beautiful person in the world, but her beauty is not au naturel. Bella never talks about the work that she's had done, but from before and after pictures, it's clear that she had a lot of enhancements. During a 2018 interview, she responded to comments about her plastic surgery, saying, quote, "People think I got all this surgery or did this or that, and you know what? We can do a scan of my face, darling. I'm scared of putting fillers into my lips. I wouldn't want to mess up my face." And with the before and afters that we have now, it's hard to claim that it's all puberty. The most common surgeries that have been rumored are a nose job, cat eye eyebrow lift, and either fillers or surgery to sharpen her face. And at number 6, Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling grew up in the limelight, and because of this, it's assumed that she got extensive plastic surgery. It doesn't help that her face has changed considerably over the years. However, she denies having anything but minor modifications made. In the past, Spelling has admitted to having her nose and breasts done, but that's it. When talking about the rumors that she's had more work done, she said, quote, "People have been talking about me having plastic surgery since I was 17. It's the one thing that stayed with me my entire career." Even though she doesn't admit to any major changes, she did reveal that her kids don't recognize her in her reruns of 90210. So there's that. Halfway number 5, LaToya Jackson. LaToya Jackson has had major plastic surgery over the years, and it's to a point that her past self is completely unrecognizable. The most noticeable procedure LaToya has had is a nose job. It was reported in 2017 that she was allegedly one nose job away from completely losing her nose. Plastic surgeons that were asked to comment on her nose said that the outer flare of her nostrils had been overly narrowed to a point of near disappearance. One doctor said that each surgery on the face carries the risk of more collapsing and said it could be almost impossible for her to breathe through it if she continues to get work done. It's also rumored that her and her late brother Michael Jackson went to the same plastic surgeon, as their noses were almost identical. And at number 4, Khloe Kardashian. After Kylie, Khloe is the Kardashian with the most recognizable plastic surgery. And even though she's had as much work done as her sister, Khloe seems to get the most hate for her ever-changing appearance. During the recent Keeping Up with the Kardashians reunion, she addressed the accusations and admitted to all the cosmetic procedures that she's had done. For the first time ever, she admitted to getting a nose job, botox, and fillers. Although she did admit that she responded horribly to botox, so she doesn't get it anymore. Although Khloe did not admit to getting any work done to her body, it's heavily speculated that she got a Brazilian butt lift, which is when fat is taken from the body and injected into the butt. And at number 3, Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox has had a dramatic change since Friends, and it's caused many to speculate that she went under the knife. She's admitted to getting some procedures to fight aging and says that she regrets getting a lot of them now. Most actresses in Hollywood struggle with that because there's less and less work for women as they get older, unfortunately. And unfortunately for Courtney, she's featured on so many of the, plastic surgery disasters lists. Courtney still looks very beautiful in my opinion, but it's clear that she's had too much botox and a botched procedure somewhere around her mouth. And at number 2, Lil Kim. Lil Kim looks so different from her original self that she's basically unrecognizable now. Not only has she changed many aspects of her face over the years, but she's also heavily bleached her skin. Since her surgeries are constantly brought up by the media, Kim decided to address it in a 2005 interview. She claims that she used to be in a physically abusive relationship and she had to fix her injuries from that relationship using plastic surgery. She even remembers one point where she was released from the hospital from a broken nose for it to be broken by him yet again. And finally, number 1, Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag was once known as the plastic surgery queen because she got addicted to getting surgeries and even made the risky decision to once have 10 surgeries in one single day. Heidi went from the girl next door look to fake glam Barbie look. She's admitted to having numerous procedures in the past, including a brow lift, botox in her face, a nose job, a chin reduction, fat injections in her cheeks, her ears pinned back, lip, neck, waist, hip, and thigh liposuction, breast implants to a size F, a butt augmentation, and her back curved. Not sure why anyone would want that. So clearly an insane amount of modifications. But of course, having all these surgeries come with a lot of risks. And she explained that she almost died because of a really risky surgery. Apparently she was on the table practically dead, and the doctors did not know if she was going to make it. She now says that she regrets a lot of her past work.
This woman got work done to make herself look more beautiful so she could become famous, but the over-the-top plastic surgery ended up having a different effect, and instead she's faded into obscurity because of it. Priscilla Caputo was an aspiring model from California looking to make it big in the industry. As many people in the industry do, she got plastic surgery to enhance her appearance. I'm sure we're all aware that the modeling industry is very picky when it comes to the models that they promote, so there is unfortunately a lot of pressure on people to look perfect, even though realistically there is no perfect person. Anyway, Priscilla was a little self-conscious about her looks, and she told sources, quote, "I'd look in the mirror and see somebody who needed a little more help," end quote. Priscilla started getting fillers primarily in her lips to enhance their size and shape, but unfortunately she didn't know at what point she should stop. Priscilla told sources that she didn't realize the monster that she had created until it was too late. Her boyfriend at the time was a plastic surgeon who performed the procedures on her, but he never advised her to stop getting fillers. Priscilla said that he never said to stop, so she just kept going. It wasn't until she posted a selfie on Facebook that showed off her drastically changed looks that she realized what she had done. Soon she was going viral for her altered appearance, and she became an internet laughingstock. Gone were her chances of becoming a model because she had pushed the limits of cosmetic alteration too far, and her appearance, both physically and socially, were changed forever. Priscilla ended up in therapy because her tarnished appearance took a severe toll on her mental health. She revealed how her looks caused her to become deeply depressed and wanted to end her own life, saying, quote, "My life turned into a nightmare. Priscilla is now using her experience as a warning for others, saying that those who are looking to alter their appearances should rethink their decisions, saying, quote, "You'll be much happier if you stay with what nature gave you," end quote. Her plastic surgery not only took away her happiness, but also her prospects of becoming a model, as she had once aspired to be. Her opinion on plastic surgery has definitely changed from when she first started, and I said, quote, "I can't look at these pictures of myself without crying, but I'm willing for people to see them if it helps just one girl avoid the path that I took." It's so sad to see the toll that these cosmetic alterations have taken on this woman, but luckily she's in a better place mentally than she was before. Her lips have returned to a normal size after stopping her collagen treatments and other plastic surgeries.
And at number 10, Faith Hill. Faith Hill recently graced the cover of People magazine with her husband Tim McGraw, and fans were shocked at her unrecognizable appearance. Some fans are even convinced that there's no way that it's Faith in the photo. She has light brown curly hair in the photo and seemingly a heavily edited face. Users in the comment section of the post are all shocked over the photo, with fans saying things like, quote, "Find Faith, because that can't be her." Another said, quote, "That's not Faith, there's no way." But other fans came to Faith's defense, saying that nothing had changed and she was just getting older. Some even complimented the fact that she's embracing her natural curls. One fan clapped back at the haters, saying, quote, "For everyone saying she's had work done, she hasn't. It's her darker natural hair she's embracing, and if you zoom in you can see her wrinkles. They edited her a bit too much, but sorry to disappoint, Faith has had zero work done, she's a natural beauty." And at number 9, Sarah Hyland. Sarah Hyland is known for changing her look on a whim, and has made several dramatic changes to her hair in the last year. And it looks like she decided to close out the year with a bang, and she debuted a new hairstyle at the 2021 People's Choice Awards on December 7th. The first big change with her hair happened back in February when she transformed into a redhead. Then in June she started wearing her hair curled due to curly hair extensions. And now in December she's gone back to brunette and wearing blunt bangs along with the bob haircut. She debuted the look on Instagram, calling the look a, quote, "version of a Bixie," which is a mix between a bob and a pixie haircut. And at number 8, Chrishell Stause. Chrishell Stause has been known for her long blonde locks since she graced our screens on Selling Sunset, but at the 2021 People's Choice Awards, she shocked the world when she debuted dark brown hair. Chrishell wore a plunging red gown by Italian designer Genny, which was a perfect complement to her new look. Chrishell has been seen out with her new boyfriend and boss Jason Oppenheim as of late, but walked the PCA red carpet solo. The two made their relationship Instagram official earlier this year. Jason said, quote, "Chrishell and I became close friends and has developed into an amazing relationship. I care about her deeply and we are very happy together." Chrishell also revealed that the ladies of Selling Sunset had wrapped filming the 5th season of the hit Netflix show, so we might be seeing her new hair on TV very soon. And at number 7, Jade Klein. Teen Mom star Jade Klein just showed off her new eyelash extensions, and fans were shocked to see how different she looked following multiple plastic surgery procedures that she underwent earlier this year. Klein has been proudly showcasing her new appearance on social media. She revealed that her transformation included having fat transferred into her breasts, while also having a Brazilian butt lift and liposuction as part of the transformation. Jade opened up about her, quote, "boob job" back in May and told fans, quote, "No implants, just some fat transferred," saying that they were the same cup size as before, just fuller. She also shared her painful recovery after her Brazilian butt lift procedure, admitting it was worse than she expected. She said during a podcast, quote, "I saw so many people I knew that were having BBLs, and I was so impressed and astonished at the shapes of their bodies." She revealed it was 10 times worse than childbirth. The upcoming season of the show is set to showcase her dramatic transformation. And at number 6, Tilda Swinton. One of the most dramatic transformation actors ever made for a role has to be Tilda Swinton in Suspiria, as the actress transformed into a man to play 82-year-old therapist Joseph Klemperer. Tilda revealed that she wore heavy prosthetics to play the role, and they started creating the prosthetics 18 months before they started filming. Tilda even requested fake male genitalia to go along with her costume just to ensure she was able to get into character fully. Her role as Dr. Klemperer is kept under wraps during filming, with the production maintaining the role was played by newcomer Lutz Ebersdorf. At the time, she rejected answering questions about the role until she spoke with the New York Times recently and revealed she was playing the lead role as a man. Halfway at number 5, Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill is currently filming his latest project with Martin Scorsese, a Grateful Dead biopic where Jonah Hill is playing Jerry Garcia, the iconic 60s guitarist. New images have leaked from the set, showing Jonah looking very different than his usual self. He looked practically unrecognizable with a bushy beard and slicked back shoulder-length hair. Garcia was known for his mane of dark, unruly hair and matching beard, and it seems that Hill has nailed the look. Jonah Hill is not only acting in the movie, he is also a producer on the film. The film doesn't have a release date as of now, but it's being produced by Apple. This is not the only big change that Jonah has made this year. He dyed his hair bleach blonde in February and was rocking a surfer aesthetic before the big change for the film. In at number 4, Geena Davis. The 65-year-old actress is known for her roles in classic movies like Beetlejuice and A League of Their Own, where she was known as the bombshell lead. But she was recently seen out in November of this year and does not look like she's aged gracefully. She was spotted walking outside in LA, wearing a scarf wrapped around her head and walking in the streets barefoot. This was not the only time she was seen out and looking bizarre. She was seen out walking another time, also barefoot, while on the street. Public outings are not common for Davis these days. The last time she was seen out was when she celebrated the 30th anniversary of the 1991 classic film Thelma and Louise with Susan Sarandon. In at number 3, Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith looked unrecognizable, continuing her role as Niobe in the 4th film. The movie, directed by Lana Wachowski, is set to release in theaters and on HBO Max later this month, and Pinkett Smith is acting alongside Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss. In the trailer, Jada looks completely unrecognizable. The makeup and prosthetics she wore while filming make her appear much older and totally different than how we recognize her. When recollecting her experience filming the franchise, she said, quote, "It's so easy to forget how much noise the Matrix pumps into your head. Something else makes the same kind of noise: war." Pinkett Smith starred in the 2nd and 3rd films in the series, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, as a Zion Rebel fighter. In at number 2, Demi Moore. Demi Moore shocked fans when she stepped out to attend the 2021 Fashion Awards in London. She attended the awards wearing a posh off-the-shoulder gown with leather gloves and a black cape. Her hair and makeup was simple, but it was her appearance that got people talking. Over time, it seems that her face has gone from angular to round, and she's done a number of facial smoothing treatments because there's no trace of a wrinkle on her face. Her face also has an unnatural appearance, with a jarring contour line from her ears to her lips, creating incredibly defined cheekbones. But her new cheekbones are making her face look puffy and unnatural. And finally, at number 1, Lara Flynn Boyle. Actress Lara Flynn Boyle was spotted out and about in Laguna Beach for a rare outing in November, and looked completely unrecognizable from her former bombshell self. She was out running errands while her friends walked their dogs by the beach. She was dressed casually, wearing oversized sweats and a flannel button-up, presumably trying to remain anonymous. She's dealt with rumors that she's changed her face for years with plastic surgery, as it's undeniable that she looks nothing like her former self. While she was out, she was wearing sunglasses that partially shielded her face, but it was clear she looked unnatural and puffy. In at number 10, Christian Bale. Christian Bale is known for his intense dedication to his roles, and he's been known to physically transform many times to support his performances, the most notable of which saw him lose 62 pounds in 4 months for his role in The Machinist. When he got the part of Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, he decided to get plastic surgery to look perfect. Although he liked the look of them, Bale felt that his teeth were not right for the character, so he had them changed before filming. He told The Guardian in 2000, quote, "I liked my old teeth, I have a molding of them on my shelf, but with Patrick Bateman, his physicality is much more important than with most characters. I looked at myself in the mirror and it just wasn't right. I was warned that if I got caps I could get a lisp, and you might still be able to tell in a close-up. So I thought, I like my teeth, but I'm not so attached to them that I'm going to ruin this whole movie because I refuse to get them done." So even though there was no actual reason to do so, Bale got the painful process of getting his teeth redone. In at number 9, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise shocked fans recently when he stepped out looking more puffy than ever, but after a close investigation, it's clear that there have been subtle changes in Cruise's appearance for years now. It's long been rumored that he had a nose job early in his career, but in 2012 he told Playboy, quote, "I haven't and never would." Although his good friend, Cuba Gooding Jr., put some cracks in that statement when he later insisted that Tom Cruise absolutely had work done. Cuba told a US TV show, quote, "I don't know what he's had done, but I remember I surprised him at his house one day and he had all of those dots all over his face. These dots are common for facial procedures, so doctors can map out what exactly they want to do to the face. However, there is a chance that he had a consultation done, but never went through with the work." Then more recently at a baseball game, his face looked very full and puffy. Since it didn't look like he gained weight in an appearance later that month, it's clear he got some sort of botox and filler. And at number 8, Howard Stern. Even though Howard Stern's voice is his main asset, he still decided to go under the knife to improve his looks. In the 90s, he felt he was the king of all media, not just radio, and felt he should invest in himself by amping up his appearance. He chose to invest in himself, undergoing a rhinoplasty to remove the bump on his nose, and liposuction to diminish the fat under his chin. He's only admitted to those 2 procedures, but it's been rumored that he's had much more done, maybe even a facelift. Either way, he looks great for his age, so whatever he's done has worked. In at number 7, Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons has been rocking with the band Kiss for decades, and obviously that kind of lifestyle is bound to take a toll on the body. Simmons claimed to have never gotten drunk or high in his career, and so he's actually in better shape than most. But as he got older, he decided it was time to change things up, and thankfully he has shared the work he's had done with the public. In 2007, he and partner Shannon Tweed openly got his and hers facelifts. It's also been reported that he's gotten botox and even eyelid surgery, which is another common anti-aging procedure. Although he's gotten some work done, Simmons says he does not recommend any of his fans to get work done. He said, quote, "I don't recommend anything that I've had done to anyone. Just because I order something off the menu doesn't mean you should. Order whatever makes you happy. Everybody's journey should be a personal choice." In at number 6, Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone is one of those celebrities that have been frozen in time. No matter how many years passes, he still looks as good as ever. Despite recently turning 75, he truly does not look a day over 50. Because of this, many fans assume he's had some subtle work done, and they would be right. But probably not the type of work that you might expect. Stallone was born with a health condition that destroyed the nerves on the left side of his face. To fix these, he went under the knife many times to make his face symmetrical, but the surgeries were never able to fix it entirely, and he was known to be photographed on his right side so it was less noticeable. As he got older, the issue came back, and he tried to fix it once again with a facelift. Stallone spoke about his surgery to People, saying, quote, "People see this scar and think I've had a facelift. What they don't notice is that I don't have a scar over here by my right ear. What do they think? That I could only afford to do half of my face? Sure, why not do it? You have bodywork done on your car." Although he's owned up to the facelift, fans speculated that he must have had more work done to look so good. Halfway at number 5, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This one was definitely the most shocking to me, although I guess it's safe to assume the world's highest paid actor would spruce up his looks if he felt he needed to. Although Johnson has not gotten the traditional procedures of botox or a nose job, or at least he isn't admitting to getting those. Since The Rock trained so much, he's put in a ton of work to get his rock-hard physique. He encountered a common issue called gynecomastia. It is a condition that results in the enlargement of the male chest through fatty deposits. So basically he developed man boobs. Since that was not the most appealing thing on screen, The Rock decided to have gynecomastia reduction surgery, which removed the excess fat from his breasts. Johnson was totally open and upfront about the surgery and his aesthetic motivations. And at number 4, Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay is known for his famous scowl, which I guess adds quite a few wrinkles to the celebrity chef's face. After years of being pressured to make a change in his appearance, he finally went through with it and got some work done. Apparently his good friend Simon Cowell encouraged it, but his kids making fun of his wrinkles was the last straw. When talking about the procedure, he said, quote, "I've got 4 children, and they'd say, 'Dad, why do you have so many wrinkles on your face when Clementine's daddy has no wrinkles?' Then another time he said, quote, 'I woke up in the morning and Matilda, my daughter, was trying to squeeze pound coins in there.'" Poor man. In the end, he opted for laser surgery rather than Botox. However, he's since been suspected of getting everything from facelifts to hair transplants. He later stated he was never getting another procedure again. His kid was putting coins in his face. And at number 3, MGK hair transplant. This one is a little known procedure, but it made a huge difference in MGK's appearance. Back in the day, Coulson used to speak about his thin hair, and he consulted with his hairstylist to come up with ways that he could make his hair look thicker. Apparently, the stylist told him the best thing was to get a hair transplant. We aren't sure when exactly the change took place, but looking back on his old photos versus now, there's a massive difference. Before, his hair was a lot thinner and his hairline was farther back on his forehead. It looks like he underwent a hair transplant procedure where a plastic surgeon took hair from another part of the body and put it on his head. This process can take 3 to 10 sessions, which must be done months apart, according to Healthline. Each session costs from $4,000 to $15,000. And at number 2, Jeff Bezos. Since becoming the richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos has clearly taken more of an interest in his looks, and it's clear that he's gotten some work done. Shortly before he went to space with his crew, it was clear he had recently made a big change for the day. Dr. Corey L. Hartman, a dermatologist in Alabama, told the Daily Beast, quote, "It's such a drastic change." To poke fun at the change, Hartman posted to Instagram saying, quote, "We see you, Jeff. Next time get the filler a month earlier so that the swelling has time to die down. Keeps people like me out of your business." In general, his face looks more plump and even more swollen. The most noticeable change is his smoother skin and plumper lips. It's been speculated that he got Botox in his forehead, potentially a small facelift, or filler in his cheeks, then filler in his lips. And finally, number 1, Elon Musk. Doctors are convinced that the billionaire Tesla owner got a hair transplant at some point in his career. When we look back at old photos of him when he was in his 20s, it's clear that his hair was thinning a lot, and he was even balding on a large portion of his head. Now it's completely the opposite, and his hair is very thick. Since it is impossible for hair to grow back after falling out, doctors are certain that he got the hair transplant. Hair loss can be delayed or prevented with the use of special or proper treatment, but hair cannot regrow without an operation. Since he's become a more prominent figure in mainstream media, it makes sense that he would want to look his best and portray an image of being younger than he actually is.
At number 10, Jennifer Grey. Imagine investing in plastic surgery to look better just to watch your career tank after getting whatever procedure done. Well, that's what happened with actress Jennifer Grey, as getting a nose job was the worst mistake of her career and pretty much ended it. Jennifer Grey became super well known after her role in Dirty Dancing, but after her rhinoplasty, things went south for the actress's career. Her appearance wasn't necessarily botched from the surgery itself, as everything went according to plan, but maybe things went a little too well. After getting the surgery, her nose looked very different to how it looked before, and it completely changed her face. As a result, Jennifer found herself struggling to book roles and getting less and less work. Everyone knew her for her face, but since it had changed, became almost unrecognizable, and that wasn't good for her career. When speaking out about her procedure, she called it the quote, nose job from hell, because it pretty much botched her career. She thought that altering her nose would make things better for her because she would have had what she thought was a better appearance, but instead things just got worse. At number 9, Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox is best known for her iconic role as Monica Geller on Friends. Though she had the looks when on the beloved sitcom, things changed after she got plastic surgery. Courtney became the unfortunate victim of botched botox, and since then the actress has sworn off any kind of cosmetic procedures. Courtney has said in interviews that some doctors started suggesting that she get fillers here and there, and after one too many posts, she was left looking more plastic than human and totally botched. Courtney was led down a dark path of cosmetic alterations to make herself look more youthful, but in the end, the actress said that all these procedures just led her to feeling more and more unhappy with her appearance. It was a vicious cycle for her. The fillers she got became so intense that Courtney eventually said enough is enough and got all the fillers in her face dissolved. Because she was left looking so unlike herself after getting botched, Courtney says that she now prefers to be all natural, embracing her natural beauty. Before we carry on talking about actors and their unfortunate plastic surgery mishaps, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Tara Reid. Hollywood's it girl Tara Reid was making it big in the industry at the height of her career, that is until she got a botched plastic surgery that derailed her career completely. In 2004, Tara wanted to get some work done to her body and she received a few surgeries. She got breast implants and underwent a procedure called a liposculpting. But this was where things went horribly wrong. After these procedures, she was left disfigured, describing some of the aftermath saying, quote, my stomach became the most ripply, bulgy thing. I had a hernia, this huge bump next to my belly button. As a result, I couldn't wear a bikini. I lost a lot of work. End quote. Things got even worse for her public image after a wardrobe malfunction at Diddy's 35th birthday party in 2004 exposed her botched body to the world. A lot of people online ended up body shaming the actress, making the situation so much harder for her to deal with at the time. Even though she was able to correct the mistakes done to her appearance 2 years later, the damage was already done to her public image and career, showing us that not only was her body botched, but her career was as well. At number 7, Dana Delany. There are a growing number of people out there getting Botox. A lot of young adults are starting to get fillers even though they don't really need to because it's seen as the new trend. Getting injectables seems to be the newest trend, probably because it's one of the least invasive plastic surgery procedures you can receive. But just because it's not a serious surgery doesn't mean there's no risk, and Desperate Housewives actress Dana Delany can attest to that. Dana opened up about one of the worst procedures she received and one of people's biggest nightmares, that being Dr. Error. In 2003, Dana decided to go in to receive some Botox injections after her dermatologist convinced her to try it out. When she went in for the procedure, things went horribly wrong after the doctor performing the procedure injected the needle into the wrong place in her forehead and actually ended up causing quite a lot of damage. When he injected it into her forehead, the needle ended up striking a nerve. This then created a huge hematoma in her forehead and actually ended up killing the nerve that was struck. Unfortunately for Dana, this mistake was pretty serious because it ended up affecting the muscle in her right eye, which caused her eye to begin to droop down slightly. Dana spoke out about the experience saying, quote, I noticed it more than anybody else, but I was symmetrical before and now I'm not. End quote. This procedure marked the first and last time she got any kind of plastic surgery done because she didn't want to risk getting getting botched again. At number 6, Ashley Tisdale. Here's a celebrity whose own body botched their plastic surgery results. Former Disney star Ashley Tisdale is another celebrity who's gone plastic and has experienced health complications as a result of getting work done. When Ashley first got her breast implants, she received the results that she was looking for. Ashley told her fans how before she got them done, she felt really insecure about her body, saying that she felt as though getting this procedure done would help her feel better about herself. Though this augmentation did help boost her confidence for a while, Ashley said that soon there came a time when the implants started to negatively impact her life and her health, saying, quote, "Little by little, I began struggling with minor health issues that were just not adding up. Food sensitivities as well as gut issues that I thought could be caused by my implants," end quote. The actress continued talking about how she made the decision to remove her implants to save herself from her health complications. Even though she walked away from the initial procedure with a good result, her health is really what got botched in the process. At number 5, Mickey Rourke. For a long time, people have made some pretty harsh comments about Mickey Rourke's face. In his early career, he was praised for his looks, but now not so much. A lot of people believe that he doesn't look anything like he used to, and a lot of that has to do with his botched plastic surgery having altered his appearance drastically. Mickey has spoken out about his altered appearance, saying that boxing is really what caused things to go downhill for him. Because he went in for reconstructive surgery from things that had been damaged through boxing, his face has never been the same. Speaking further on this, Mickey said, quote, "Most of it was to mend the mess of my face because of boxing, but I went to the wrong guy to put my face back together. I had my nose broken twice, I had 5 operations on my nose and 1 on a smashed cheekbone," end quote. If Mickey had gone to someone else for these procedures, maybe things would have been different and he wouldn't have gotten so botched. At number 4, Lara Flynn Boyle. Lara Flynn Boyle was stunning in the 90s when she acted on shows like Twin Peaks and The Practice, but in the early 2000s her look started changing drastically, specifically her lips. Over time, fans started to notice that her face started to look very unnatural, and as a result of her altered appearance, no one wanted to cast her anymore. Boyle commented before her procedures that she was scared of aging as she knew that she would lose work, but her botched procedures are what have actually blacklisted her from the industry. In 2010, Paul S. Nassif told the Daily Mail, quote, "Lara Flynn Boyle appears to have had a rhinoplasty, lip augmentation, botox, facial fillers, and possibly a brow lift and facelift," end quote. Nassif also said that Lara should refrain from any more procedures. Plastic surgeon Dr. Michael Saulhauser agreed, telling the outlet, quote, "Lara Flynn Boyle, I feel, has gone overboard with the fillers to her cheeks and lips," end quote. At number 3, Jamie Lee Curtis. Now this one actually surprised me a lot because I never actually knew that Jamie Lee Curtis had gone under the knife, but apparently it happened and it wasn't pretty. The actress opened up about a procedure she had received before shooting a movie where she got the fat taken out from underneath her eyes because she said that she was looking puffy. Well, it turns out that this ended up a little botched and her looks weren't too great because when she got to set to start filming the movie, the cameraman actually said that he couldn't shoot her anymore because her face was messed up. Jamie recalled feeling super embarrassed because she had changed her looks too much. She also said that she was unaware of the fact that when you take fat from one area of your body, it, quote, "comes back in another place." Jamie took this botched experience as a learning moment and never tried a procedure like that again. At number 2, Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag is probably one of the most well-known celebrities for having received botched plastic surgery. In 2010, Heidi took her looks and her body to the limit and underwent 10 procedures in the same day. The procedures she received were neck liposuction, a brow lift, a nose job revision, a chin reduction, getting her ears pinned back, a second breast augmentation, fat injections in her cheek, liposuction in her waist, hip, and inner thighs, Botox in her forehead, and butt implants. So needless to say, there was a lot going on that day. In the aftermath of her dramatic transformation, Heidi opened up about her procedures, her regrets, and what went wrong. She said that her breast augmentation went too far as she made her chest too heavy for the rest of her body, and as if that wasn't bad enough, this long day of surgery took such a huge toll on her body that she actually flatlined for a minute during surgery. Heidi also said that these procedures left her with some pretty bad scarring as well. After all of this work, not only was her appearance botched, but her career was as well, as she ended up losing a lot of work because of this drastic change. And finally, at number 1, Zac Efron. Now this one isn't exactly a confirmed plastic surgery case, but it sure did cause a lot of commotion over the summer. There had been a lot of speculation concerning Zac Efron's supposed new look, as people started saying that Zac got some work done, and by some, I mean a drastic amount. Zac showed up in a video about Earth Day looking pretty different and very swollen. The lower half of his face was looking very puffy, almost like he had had gotten a lot of botox done or some other kind of procedure, and people were super confused by this sudden transformation. The internet started debating whether or not he'd gotten surgery, with some people chalking this all up to Zac simply getting wisdom tooth surgery, using that to explain all the puffiness, but others weren't too convinced. According to one celebrity plastic surgeon, they thought that it looked like Zac may have gotten fillers to reshape his jawline, or that he had actually gone under the knife and that there was some residual swelling going on. It was all just a very sudden change that a lot of people just weren't expecting.
Actress Rebel Wilson went through a dramatic transformation in 2020 that has fans wondering how exactly she did it. And in this video I'm going to be breaking down how and why she decided to change her lifestyle and in turn lose over 70 pounds. In 2019, Rebel Wilson was known for playing characters that promoted body positivity, like her Pitch Perfect role of Fat Amy. In the movie, Amy says that she asked the girls to call her fat to her face because she knows they'll just call her fat behind her back anyways. Many felt empowered by the film, especially since Amy seemed so comfortable in her own skin. So fans were shocked to learn that Rebel was partaking in a lifestyle journey she was calling her quote, year of health. Then in 2020, Rebel announced on her Instagram that she intended to go through a huge health and lifestyle change that would most likely result in her losing a lot of weight. She ended up losing over 70 pounds in about a year and announced that she hit her goal weight of 165 pounds in November of 2020. Rebel has revealed that she followed something called the Mayer method to lose the weight. This method is all about a lifestyle change and intuitive eating. One of the principles of the diet is to focus on chewing food and eating slowly in order to achieve her drastic weight loss. Rebel said recently that she wished she'd gotten on the weight loss path sooner, when she was in her 30s. Wilson told in style, quote, "Now that I know I can do it, sometimes I feel sad that I didn't do it earlier. Maybe I should have tried when I was 30, not 40. But everybody's journey is different and it's not a race or competition." To get more into her weight loss method, called the Mayer method, the diet is based on eating healthy vegetables, high protein foods, and being mindful about eating, avoiding added sugars and stress eating. A large part of the diet is actually encouraging positive lifestyle changes, like incorporating simple exercises and sleeping more. The Mayer method dates back to the 1920s when a doctor in Austria invented it. Wilson actually went to a specific clinic in Austria that teaches the method in 2019. After this meeting, she was excited to give the diet a try. Wilson explained her new approach to her fans in a social media video, telling them how this method helps people put themselves in better situations where they feel in control of their decisions and less distracted while they eat, so they don't make poor choices. The method encourages going for walks or hiking as a way of reducing stress, which is a cornerstone principle. The diet also allows for a glass of wine at dinner, which is a nice treat. The point of the diet change is to go from eating inflammatory foods to anti-inflammatory to change the health of the gut, focusing on tons of vegetables and high protein foods to do so. The diet avoids inflammatory foods like processed foods, dairy, caffeine, and gluten. After opening up about her stunning transformation, Rebel revealed that back when she was contemplating the weight loss journey, some of the people on her own team were not too happy when she decided she was going to lose weight. She told the BBC, quote, "I got a lot of pushback from my own team actually, here in Hollywood, when I said, okay, I'm going to do this year of health. I feel like I'm really going to physically transform and change my life." This pushback was because she'd become known for her weight in the industry and she was getting roles as the quote, funny fat girl, as she says. Changing her entire branding at that point could have been the end of her career. However, she didn't let their opinions stop her, because she knew she needed that change in her lifestyle to be as healthy as possible. She also knew she needed to address her unhealthy eating habits. Adding, quote, "I knew deep down inside that some of the emotional eating behaviors I was doing were not healthy, like I didn't need a tub of ice cream every night. That was me kind of numbing emotions using food, which wasn't the healthiest thing." Rebels also revealed her change in diet was in part to increase her chances of getting pregnant. She said on Instagram Live back in July, quote, "It first started when I was looking into fertility stuff, and the doctor was like, well, you'd have a much better chance if you were healthier." Rebel says she was initially offended that he brought that up, but after thinking about it, she knew the doctor was right. She continued in the interview, quote, "So that's kind of where it started, that if I lost some excess weight, that it would give me a better chance for freezing eggs and having the eggs be a better quality. It wasn't even really myself, it was more thinking of the future mini-me, really." Now that Rebel has lost the weight up to 77 pounds at this point, she's now focused on maintaining the weight loss and not putting it back on, like she had done in the past. In an interview with Women's Health, Rebel spoke about the permanent lifestyle changes that she's made, saying, quote, "The biggest lesson that I've learned is how to deal with my emotional eating, learning to process my emotions and deal with my emotions better. That's really what's changed my life for the better." Rebel has also shared with fans some candid posts about her journey and some of her low points that really encouraged the change. In August, she posted a throwback photo at her largest weight. In the caption, she spoke about all the bad things that happened around that time in her life, like losing her father to a heart attack. At that time, she was using food to manage her feelings. The caption read in part, quote, "Okay, so I know I normally post flattering photos of myself, but I found this old photo in my emails and was like, whoa." She wrote in the caption, "I remember this was when I was at my most unhealthiest, being overweight and indulging way too much with junk food, using food to numb my emotions." Finishing off the caption that she is so proud of herself and anyone who wants to make this change can do it if they try hard enough. In the Women's Health interview, Revel spoke about her current daily regimen. In 2020, she was focused on losing the weight, so in 2021, she was only trying to maintain. She said, quote, "There were times last year where I was eating on a very strict diet, and then now it's more about balance." She said she's incorporated snacks back into her diet, and she indulges in the occasional ice cream and chocolate. To her, this approach feels more maintainable. She's also made an effort to make her past favorite unhealthy foods more healthy, like incorporating more vegetables in meals that didn't always include as many. For example, she loves to add shredded carrots and avocados to her tacos. She's also lessened her fitness routine and added in more moderate workouts that are easier to stick to. She said, quote, "I don't have to do such extreme workouts. It's really about enjoying exercise and physical activity, so I'll just go on a light walk. I'm not killing myself at the gym." Just last week, Rebel continued to share pictures of her new figure, posing on a couch for a New Year's Eve photo. She wrote in a stunning Instagram post, quote, "Starting off the new year strong. Happy New Year to you legends, love from down under." She celebrated in her native Australia, sharing moments from the night on her Instagram, like fireworks and drinks with her friends. While talking to People, she also opened up about her current dating life. She confirmed that she's single after a split with her ex-boyfriend, Jacob Bush. And she says she isn't looking to date at the moment. She spoke about her single summer, saying, quote, "I was doing the hot girl summer thing. I heard about it in rap songs and I was like, this sounds fun. But it really wasn't me. I'm more of a conservative girl normally." Although she confirmed she dated some people over the summer and had a nice time, nothing serious came out of it. Following the breakup, Wilson confirmed she hopped on a dating app to see who was out there, but she deleted it after she got way too much attention. I mean, being a celebrity on a dating app is definitely not easy. She also spoke about her weight loss and turning 40, saying, quote, "Last year, I for the first time ever prioritized my health. And even though that was my 40th year, I was just like, it's never too late to improve yourself or to improve your health. I shouldn't feel sad or beat up on myself because of that. I should just feel proud of myself for actually doing it." As of now, Rebel looks phenomenal as an inspiration to women everywhere who are looking to make a lifestyle change.